It's time for Side Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig.
You decide when you lose, not other people.
And Blabs.
I like pickles.
And co-hosted by our friends from around the internet. Today, Blabs Fangirls out because she's interviewing Flick Miles, body double from the Harry Potter series. And now, broadcasting from our homes, it's time for the #1 gaming and entertainment podcast on God's green earth. It's time for Side Scrollers.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, welcome on out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com and Twitch.tv and Spotify and everywhere else. Good to see everybody. Happy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to you guys. Hopefully you're having a great day. Man, as the week has flown by today. Listen, I'm not going to lie. We got 45 minutes today with our guest. So we're going to get into this thing. But first, I want to remind you guys, if it's your first time tuning in, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Love to see you guys here. Also, hit the thumbs up button. Listen. I've never seen Blabs like this before. I'm going to tell you this right now. I've known Blabs for a little bit now. I've never seen her like this before. And I am beyond excited to bring in our guest today. I'm going to bring in our guest first. Flick, how are you first and foremost?
Hi. Good, thank you. I'm very well. Very excited to be on the show.
Well, listen, I'm excited to have you, but I'm going to tell you this right now. Blabs, she's got her. Look at her. Look, she's got her Harry Potter hat on.
I got my new hoodie on today too.
I love it. I love it. I feel like I wish I'd worn something now. I just didn't think.
Blabs, did you go and did you buy a new outfit for today?
No, this hat's like a couple years old, but I actually just got this hoodie the other day, and I was like, for the first time ever, I'm gonna wear it for Flick. So here we are.
Sorry about that.
Wow, Craig.
Just cut off Flick. I'm sorry. So, okay, look. Today's a little role reversal as Blabs and Flick are going to talk. I'm going to sit in the background, run timestamps, and we're going to let these ladies go. And if there's ever an opportunity, yes, I'm going to. Hello, everybody. If there's ever an opportunity, I'll just chime in if I need to. But Blabs, Flick, the stage is yours, my ladies.
All right, so first things first, let's tell everyone who you are and how you got into the Harry Potter series.
Right, so yeah, my name's Flick, and I was Emma's double on the first 3 Harry Potter films. And now I've sort of dipped my toe back into the wizarding world because I now host a podcast speaking to other people that were in Harry Potter, just about the weird and wonderful time we had making the film. But if I take you back to the beginning, should I do that? Take you back to
do it.
Yeah. So when I was 10, so I'm now 33, just to put that into perspective. I went to sort of a little drama class, very low key after school sort of thing. In a church hall. I don't know, do you have that like in the States? I'm not sure, like sort of a, like an after school club thing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Aftercare.
Yeah. So it wasn't like a really flashy stage school or anything like that. But the woman who ran it also had a really tiny agency. And she just said to my mum when she was picking me up from the class one day, like, oh, if you give me some pictures of Flick, like if any auditions ever came up, we could send her out. So I think I literally went home and my mum just took some pictures of me in the garden, like 10, just like, again, nothing professional. And then sort of in the meantime, all over sort of in the UK, we knew they were searching everywhere for these children to play Harry, Ron and Hermione. So they were going into schools and just looking everywhere. They weren't necessarily just going with sort of stage school people, but I had no process in that part. Like I never went up for the role of Hermione or anything like that. But it was the summer of 2000, I think. Yeah, it must have been summer of 2000. And we just got a call one day saying, oh, they're looking for somebody to be the double for the girl who's been cast as Hermione. But I didn't even know what a double is. Like my family have nothing to do with like film, entertainment, TV, anything. But obviously we knew what Harry Potter was. It was like, great, okay. Just need to go and audition. So I auditioned, obviously got the part. And then that was my life for like the next 4 years.
Wow. So can you tell us what exactly is a body double?
Yeah, so a body double is it can be a lot of different things. But specifically why I was brought on as a body double is in the UK, and I do think from when I spoke to people, it is very similar in the US as well. When you're under the age of 16, you can only film on set for 4 hours a day. So your day can be longer. I think your day can be like 8.5 hours. But the other time you have to have like a legal requirement of doing schooling and also just having breaks, like a lunch break and a morning break and an afternoon break. So to maximize that 4 hours on set with under 16s, they had doubles. So if anything was like over the shoulder, far away, or maybe you were just needed for an eye line or to set up a shot, they could use us. Because once you're over 16, you can film pretty much all the hours. So that's how they kind of got by to film, because they're still really long shoots, Harry Potter. They were like 9 months at least. So just to get through, they sort of had us. But I know older actors have doubles, and there's obviously stunt doubles. But for me personally, it was to share the time on set so they could film basically for a full day of 8 hours.
Sorry, I wanted to chime in. I just really want to point out, you sent over some pictures here and just kind of put y'all side by side. It really puts in perspective why it was important to have you on the shot. It's I do think that, like, I don't really look like her anymore, but I think like you can see we have like a similar shaped face, and I think it's like the jawline. When you're filming things like side on or over the shoulder, it's actually quite important to have a similar jaw, and then obviously just like height, body size, hair color, those sorts of things.
Yeah, the hair is the identical, and the ponytail, that's crazy. Did you have to rehearse lines too so they could see how it would be in a frame, or you just kind of had to stand there?
So the only time we really ever had to do lines, which obviously you don't hear my voice in the film, is sort of, we would feed lines to, say if we were rehearsing. There was a scene with I would do the lines just so the actors knew when to come in. But you know, that wasn't every day, but yeah, we did have to like learn lines to say.
So cool. So what was it like being on set?
It was like really nerve-wracking. Like when I was first having to do it, I was getting such a like panic about getting my lines wrong, because sometimes you'd be on set with like these actors who are like just top of their game, and it's like little 10-year-old me that's only gone to like a church. Everyone, it wasn't like people that I was nervous with, but there's like, I think Blabs, you'll know, in the scene where there's the troll that comes into the toilets and Hermione's in the toilets, then Harry and Ron come to save her. And there's a bit at the end where the teachers come in and it's like Snape, Quirrell, McGonagall.
Yeah.
And I remember I had to feed the lines for that, because there's a scene where she walks through and it's like onto them, and like there's the taps going off and all the water, and she says, "Oh, it's my fault. I came to look for the troll." I remember doing that, and that was quite nervy because it was obviously like not one-on-one. It's like Alan Rickman and Maggie Smith, but then also like Dan and Rupert, who had obviously really comfortable with doing that because they were doing that every day. And I think that's like, it's more like the number of people, or if you're in like the Great Hall and there's like 100 extras and you've got to deliver a line, I think that's where I'd be more nervous. But actually, like one-on-one with anybody, it's fine. But everyone was really supportive.
Did you ever have to take like any acting classes or anything like that stuff, or you just read the lines? It was like, if they're bad, they're bad. It's fine.
Yeah. I didn't have to take any acting classes. No, the only thing we had was like a dialogue and dialect coach, Sandra Freeze, and she would sometimes just go through things with us. But yeah, it was on a casual basis.
Yeah, so I'm going to be super lame right now and ask, did anyone ever call you HermiTwo instead of Hermione, because it's one in her name?
You need to stop, Blabs. I'm just going to pull in right now. Flick, I'm going to just apologize for that question. That's ridiculous.
I had to ask. I'm like, she's technically is Hermione, but she's HermiTwo.
I've never heard that before in my life.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to move on now. So who did
Maybe
you
I should start using that though.
Right? I mean, you are Hermione. It's just not the Hermione everyone knows. It's crazy.
Exactly. It makes sense.
You should be HermiTwo. So who did you get along with best when you were on set?
Oh, good question. So a lot of times filming, it is just Harry, Ron, and Hermione in. So I think like the doubles for Dan and Rupert, I was obviously close with, and then like Dan, Rupert, and Emma themselves, because a lot of the time it would just be the six of us, and we were children, so we would just play, like just do things that you would think children would do, sort of play together. We had like a really cool rec room which had like table tennis in it and foosball and that sort of thing, and we would all just hang out there after like schooling was finished. Or if we were ever like on location, we always like loved swimming. If the hotel had a pool, like after filming, we'd be like, we've all got to go to the pool. I think like Emma and I, as we got slightly older, became closer just because we had sort of similar interests. Like we used to do like dance classes together and stuff like that. And I think just both being 13, the boys are slightly older than us. So both just being sort of like 13, 14-year-old girls, we naturally like gravitated towards each other. And also like Harry Potter is quite a male dominated cast. So I think just like naturally as two young girls, we sort of gravitated towards each other. And yeah, we were like really friendly towards the end, and we'd all spend a lot of time together. There wasn't really any degree of separation between us all. They really just wanted us to be kids. They really, really did. And they really wanted us to just enjoy being there and filming and try and make it like for 10, 11, 12-year-olds, even though it is like a full-time job with the pressure of making like a mega blockbuster with the budget, they did try and make us not feel like we had a lot of pressure on us, and to keep us like being able to be children, even though we're in like a very adult world, obviously doing a full-time job.
Yeah, that's so kind of like the opposite of what you hear about nowadays, where all the kids are like basically adults on set and everything. I like that you guys were actually able to be children as children.
Yeah, they really did want that. Like they would always ask us sort of things that we would want to do, especially if we were away from home. Like in the third film, we were up in Scotland for a long time filming Hagrid's Hut and the whole Buckbeak sequence where Harry and Hermione go back in time and then they see themselves and they're up there with Malfoy and stuff. And you know, Dave Heyman, who's the producer, he really spent a lot of time like making sure we were all happy. Like he made sure my whole family came up every weekend to be with me, and they would say like, oh, what do you want to do? And we'd say like bowling and getting McDonald's, and they would just make sure that was like a possibility for us. But it was really things that you know you'd want to do at 13. So they,
are you still
they were
friends
great.
with like any of the cast and crew from the Potter films?
So I like none of them I'm like best friends with, but a lot of them I still have on like socials and will speak to and see. And obviously since doing the podcast where I speak to people who are working on the films, I've like got back in touch with people. So yeah, like definitely still have the odd like message and cheer for. And I went to a convention in the summer and loads of the guys were there, and when you're back together it's like it's always so much fun reminiscing about that time. So yeah.
Yeah, and I want to point out that you said Prisoner of Azkaban. So here, chat, is a nice photo. Look how close she looks like Emma. It's wild. Crazy.
Yeah, one thing Willow.
Craig, you have a question?
I do. Will you talk about the shooting schedule? You said something that was really interesting to me. The idea that they made sure your family was up there on the weekends. So during the week, you were up there by yourself. Is that correct? In Scotland, doing shooting for 4 hours a day, doing school, and then on the weekends, your family would come up?
So under 16, you always have to have a chaperone with you.
Okay.
So my mum and grandma would sort of take, like my grandma would come Monday, Tuesday, and then my mum would come Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I always had one person with me, but I have like a brother, sister, dad. And they would fly them all up to Scotland like every weekend to be with me, so I could have the whole family there.
That's wicked.
So yeah, but always my mum or my grandma were always with me. And then if you can't have someone, a member of the family come, because obviously that's not an option for everyone, that like people have a job of being chaperones and they will supply someone to come with you. Then once you're over 16, you're on your own.
Be free.
That's
yeah,
crazy.
freedom. You don't have to do schooling. You don't have to do any of that. It's completely different. I think it's a completely different experience once you're over 16 doing that. And a lot of people who carried on working as doubles. Over 16 now have like other jobs behind the scenes in films. A lot of them like stayed in the film industry.
Cool. Well, thank you.
Wow,
Labs?
that's actually cool.
I'll go tiny again.
Yeah. So I heard that you were actually the cat in Chamber of Secrets. You want to talk about that?
Yes, that's like my real claim to fame.
That is
Because I'm
so
like,
cool.
that's it. Because there's like, when I watch the film and like, as it gets like further and further away, like when the films first came out, I could tell you every single bit that was me. I was like, that's me, that's me, that's me, that's me. And I'd sit in the cinema next to like my mum or like my sister, and I'd be like, I'll squeeze your hand when it's me, like to let them know. But as time's gone on, I like forget. I'm like, is that me? I don't know. But the cat definitely is. And what so what happened with that is, so the bit we're talking about is when Hermione takes a cat hair from Millicent Bulstrode. There it is. From Millicent Bulstrode's robe and puts it in the polyjuice potion. So when they did the makeup on, some test makeup on Emma, she had like a mild, nothing bad, just like a mild allergic reaction, because they do use like quite strong glues to get everything on. And it's obviously a lot of like prosthetic work. It's also really time consuming. It took about 3-4 hours to get that on.
Wow.
So they just was, because like I said, we had like a really similar shaped face. Oh, here it is. My starring moment. Those eyes are obviously like CG. Those are not these. So yeah, they just said like, let's see, because I had the same shaped face, and obviously that is like a jawline, even though it's all fur on it. They're like, let's just see if it works with Flick. So they asked me if I was up for doing it, which I was like, of course. Like working with the creature effect team was like one of the whole highlights of the film, like absolutely incredible experience. So yeah, so they did it on me at work. So that scene, that bit is actually me.
And then you were also the one they used for the petrified mold, right? So when Hermione gets petrified, that's your body?
That's yeah, that one's a bit more random, isn't it? So they had to do, to make the makeup of the face, for the cat, sorry, because that looks like a mask you'd put on. It's not. It's hundreds of little bits. Like it's all flocked. All the whiskers are put in individually, because it has to like move with your face. Like if you're smiling, it needs to smile, even though it's like such a short film. But you have to imagine that like Hermione could have been in that for like half an hour. So how much would she need to move and whatever? Obviously, it's not. It's a 20-second scene, but they obviously, that's the attention of detail they put into it. Like it has to be completely like wearable, and you're able to act in it. So they had to do a whole like cast of my face, which they literally did. And then like there was someone just like scooping like my nostrils just to make sure I could breathe through my nose. Like, and then they were like, as we're doing this, can we just take a whole cast of your body so you can be Hermione's body when she's petrified? Just as I was already there working with creature effects, working with that team. Which again, like when you're 12 and someone's like, can we just plaster cast your whole body? You're like, yeah, of course you can. Like, that's so fun. Like, who wouldn't want to do that? I've like never broken a bone either. So I've had no experience of like having plaster cast. And they just gave me 2 sticks. I had like a wetsuit on almost, and 2 sticks. And I just had to like stand like this as they did the cast. They didn't give me my body, but they did give me a cast of my face. So I have like a cast of my face at 12 years old, which is
that's crazy.
It's so funny now. Yeah, it's at my house.
How long did that take you just to get molded?
To do the mold actually set the body one a little bit longer. I can't really remember, but I don't think I was standing there more than like 20 minutes. Maybe it sets quite quick.
Okay,
the face,
like hours.
They use like the first layer that goes on is like what they do dental compressions with. You know, like the pink sort of that sets like really, really quick. That sets in like it's almost like so quick that it sets in minutes. They have to work really quickly and then put the other stuff over the top just to cast it like really hard. So they've got a hard surface to press against to mold. I think I'm probably saying this, and someone who works in this is thinking that's not why, but that's how I understood it. And then they did 2 looks for the cats. They did one. So they did one that was more of like a reddish color, a red cat that was like really, really like beautiful cat. All these like fiery colors, and it was like gorgeous. And then they did this other one, which was like just more of like a grey.
This one?
No offense to grey cats. So that I think might be the red one. I don't think that's the one that ended up in there.
I don't think so.
I'll double check.
Light in comparison.
It does in comparison. But they said like Millicent Bulstrode wouldn't have a really beautiful
cat.
feline cat.
True.
She would have like a grey witch's cat almost, if that makes. I mean, I'm actually a cat lover. All cats are beautiful, but they just felt it needed to look a little bit more like an alley cat sort of than this like feline. Like, yeah. So that was like Chris Columbus's feedback. So I think the creature effects team were a little bit sad that they had to go, like when I've spoken to Nick Dublin since, that they had to go with this slightly less beautiful, fluffy cat and slightly more like grey. Yeah.
So, why did you stop being Emma's body double after the third movie?
Yeah, this is actually like such a boring logistical reason, but so I was sort of turning 14 into 15, and it's in the UK, you start doing sort of your, they're called GCSEs, so like exams and stuff like that.
And stuff, right?
Yeah. So you do GCSEs that lead on to your A levels, which then lead on to university or college sort of thing. And it's just, if you're filming, the demands of filming and the like how much tutoring they can realistically put on for you, you take a reduced number of GCSEs. And I feel like at that time, I just wasn't 100% sure what I wanted to do with my life. Obviously, being like 14, I had, no idea. And it just felt like the right time to go back to school. I missed certain elements of being at school. I basically didn't go to school for 4 years. And in that time, I'd moved from my primary school to my secondary school. Your whole life is filming, which is amazing. Like, that is so lucky. It was such a privilege. Like, I don't want to sound ungrateful for that experience, but you also are kind of like, I'm ready to just be like a child and go to like, I didn't go to any parties or anything. Like, I didn't have friends. I knew people, but like, I think you just kind of, because I wasn't like, oh, I 100% want to be in the film industry and this is what I want to do. It felt a little bit like I was closing doors or potentially doing GCSEs and A levels and going to university at the age of 14. But it was really sad and it was a really, really hard decision. But I don't regret it because I feel like I had the most amazing time. And yeah, but so a boring reason. And then what's so, yeah, like, and what's really mean that they did to me though, they were like, oh, okay, so I said that, like, when it came towards the end of every film, they'd just say, well, you come back and send the contract. It was that I didn't have to like re-audition or anything, which was like really, really lucky. So when I said I'm actually not going to come back, they were like, oh, okay. And then a few weeks later, they said, oh, we've got some girls in that are going to be one of your replacements. Will you come down so we can audition them against you? Because I think Emma must have just been busy. So I just saw all these girls. And that was the one moment that I was like, oh my gosh, I've made a mistake. Like, somebody else is going to be doing this. But then weirdly, a girl that I knew through my drama class, this really little Churchill drama class called Ellen, got the part. And I was just like so happy for her because I just knew she was about to have like the most incredible experience. But that did hurt. I think that like I was so torn about the decision, and then seeing these girls and then thinking, oh my gosh, have I made a mistake? I don't know. And you're like, when you're 14, it's a lot. You're like, I can't be making life decisions at 14.
That's crazy. Now, speaking of Emma, did you ever like get in touch with her at any time in the last few years or anything, or you guys just kind of go your separate ways like adults do?
Yeah, we just kind of, I think after I finished filming, like I said, I took like a massive, well, that's actually a lie. I used to go back and visit just because I knew loads of people there. So I'd just say, can I come? And like, I was actually an extra in the fourth film for the Yule Ball.
I was actually going to ask you that later.
Yeah. I was like, can I come back? They were like, yeah, do you want to be an extra? I was like, yes. And they said, why don't you do the Yule Ball? Because that'll be fun because everyone's in and you can see them. So I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, 100%. So I got to go back and do that. That's what I mean. Like, everyone was so nice. Like, everyone was just so lovely. And then like in the other films, like, I came back to visit, but I didn't do the extra thing again because it actually just to film that scene, I had to be in like all week. And obviously then I was at school. So I was like, I don't really think I can come back and do like weeks of filming being an extra. But they'd always let me just come in and see everyone. But then after that, I went, so once I think I didn't go in after the sixth film because I went away to university by that point. Or was it the seventh film? I can't remember now. And then I took a massive step away from Harry Potter, like literally had like nothing to do with it, or really anyone. until like 2 years ago when I started the podcast, and I've kind of got back into the wizarding world, which has been like so fun. I've absolutely loved it.
What was it that brought you back in? Why was it like 2 years ago? What was the thing that where you're like, well, I think it's time to start talking Harry Potter again?
Yeah, it's so I can't even take credit for it. So my friend kept saying to me, I think you should do a podcast. I think it would be like really interesting to hear from people who have jobs that you don't necessarily hear from in the film industry, or did things on Harry Potter that you didn't necessarily know. But I was like, oh, I don't know. Like Harry Potter's quite not oversaturated, but there is a lot of Harry Potter content out there that you can consume. So I was like, I don't want to just like do something for the sake of doing it. I want it to be like good. And I'm a journalist. That's what I do as my job, my muggle job. So I was like, I only want to do something where I think it can be really good. So I wasn't sure. And he was like, no, I think you should go for it. I think you should go for it. Then COVID happened, and I found I had a lot of time on my hands at home. So I just thought, I'm going to just reach out to a few people that I know, like Nick Dudman, who was head of creature effects, like Martin Bayfield, who was like Hagrid the Giant, like John Seals, like the director of photography, people that I remember working with. I'm like, I'm just going to see if they're going to be up for like speaking with me. And luckily, I feel like everyone else had a lot of time on their hands. So they were like, yeah, okay, let's do it. So it kind of happened from that. And it's just been like lovely. Like, for example, like I guess I would never be speaking to you guys if I hadn't like got back into it. Sure. So it's just been like such a like amazing thing to like do, and so fun. I'm
sorry to break the news to you, Flick. Blabs would have found a way to contact you in some way, shape, or form. So.
Like, hi, just knocking on your door. Hello.
I mean, like, oh, she's dug through the archives of 20 years ago to find me, but that's lovely.
So this is kind of a weird question, but have you ever been jealous or wished that you were the prominent Hermione? Or were you like, nah, that's all yours, Emma?
There's obviously like elements of it that you're like, what an incredible experience. Like I love Harry Potter, and I think like what an amazing thing to be Hermione, and who like everyone sort of believes is Hermione, because I think she's a great character. I think she's really, really cool. But then there's so many things that I'm just not jealous of. I think there's I think it's really demanding job that she had for 10 years. I think it was high pressure. And I think it's just like those Dan, Rupert and Emma especially have a very unique life, which I think has like so many incredible privileges. But I think those go hand in hand with a lot of things that are really, really hard. So yeah, there are elements that I'm like, oh, being Hermione would have been so cool. But then I do think, but I got the best of it because I got to do it, but also just like not have any pressure on me, get to, you know, I feel like I got to go to Hogwarts. Basically, I'm like the closest I think you can get to actually going to Hogwarts. I got to do that and still have no pressures of being like a worldwide recognized face, which I think is really hard to deal with as a child. And now, as an like Harry Potter's not easing up. It's just as big now as it was then. I think that's a really intense thing to have to do and be to everybody. To be Hermione to the world is hard, I think.
So when you were younger, did you ever meet JK Rowling? And how'd that go?
Yes. Do you know what? More at the beginning, she was around on set quite a lot. Obviously, I think like it's well publicized that she had a lot of like to do with like starting things and how she wanted it to look. And, you know, I think she specifically said about British casts and people she had in mind for parts. So she was there. She was definitely a presence. But as the films went on, I think less and less. I think it just started becoming like a really well-oiled machine that she sort of knew who was in. She had a lot of trust in the heads of department. And I think she could see it was going in a direction that she was really happy with. So she'd be around, but we wouldn't be like talking to her every day or anything. I think at the premieres, I spoke to her like a few times, but not much, just like a hi. She was really thinking, hi, who are you? But yeah, she was around. She was around, especially on the first film, I remember.
Yeah, I believe she like was less around due to being pregnant and having a new family and everything. So yeah, it's busy. And then writing the rest of the books.
Yeah, because when we like first started filming, I think only like 3, but the 4th book had just come out, or the first 3 and the 4th came out whilst we were filming. So yeah, she was busy. She was busy.
So did you keep any props or costumes from the sets?
Oh my gosh, you know, it's like I get scared now that Warner Brothers are going to be like, give it back. But yeah.
What do you have? Show us what do you have. Let's go.
No, honestly, I've got like a few little bits like quills and little notebooks that Hermione's written in. Probably like the biggest thing that I took, which I definitely know I should not have taken, but it was so cool that I was like, I can't not take it. That in the film, you will see that before they're sorted into their houses, they have a plain black tie with just the Hogwarts crest on it. And then obviously as they're sorted, it magically turns into their tie, whatever house it is, the house colours, I would say. And so I took the black tie with all the houses on it because I thought, like, who's going to have that? That's like really unique. So I took that. No one ever said anything, so I'm guessing it's okay. The thing that I really wish I'd taken, which I just never would have got away with because they became super hot on props. Like, you've probably heard this, Blabs. Like, you had to like sign in and out the wands and stuff. Like, no one was taking anything. Like, didn't matter who you were, you're not taking it. I think at the end, some people were given their wands, but I really wish I took Hermione's time turner.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Or
that
even her
was
wand
so
in the
cool.
3rd one.
I know, but I didn't. But we got given like loads of really cool stuff whilst filming. I've got like in the loft like so much. Every year they do like a baseball sort of style shirt with like Potter 01, 02, 03, whatever it was, and like just loads of different. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear the kids screaming.
Okay.
That's life. No worries. It's great.
might be able to hear that. They gave us like loads of really cool t-shirts, but like unfortunately they're all like for 10-year-olds. They're so small. So I'm just gonna wait for my son to get to 10 years old. Then he has got like the coolest Harry Potter stuff that like nobody has. Yeah,
and
all the different units have like different, yeah. So
no grass stains.
Yeah, don't. But I have got some cool, and I've got loads of like scripts and stuff like that sort of stuff. I definitely have like call sheets.
Oh, you got to keep scripts? Sweet.
Yeah, and you were actually allowed to like take your scripts home, but what they have on them is like a number printed all over it, and the numbers assigned to you. So if it got leaked, they'd know exactly who leaked it.
What was your
but to be honest, like mine was 30. Well, my call number was 3D, but my script number was 303.
Cool.
So if you see a 303 out there, no. I think they're okay now. I think it's okay that they're out there.
So in Prisoner of Azkaban, as Hermione gets progressively more injured and dirty towards the end, like how many outfits did you guys have to wear? Because it was constantly changing and getting filthier as it went on. Can you talk about that?
And they had somebody who was fully dedicated to like the breakdown of the outfit, and that was like their whole job. So starting and then, but yeah, to be fair, like I would just turn up and there would be like a costume in my dressing, like costume, go around and put them in your dressing room. Obviously in the morning you get changed into that. It's unlikely you do like a midday change. I don't really remember that too much because I mean, you know, even to film like a 10-second sequence can sometimes take all day. So it would be like as the days go on, and then they just had like a continuity woman, Annie, who had like this thick like wodge of Polaroids, and they just snap you all the time and just use it as like a reference of like where you're. And like hair and makeup also had that, and they'll just refer back to it to make sure if you've got a cut there, it's exactly there. But then like, how would that bleed over the next 20 seconds? Would it start running, or is it not a black? And they would look like through that. But I would love, like, honestly, there is nothing more fun than that sort of hair and makeup where they would just get all this clay and like put it in. How cool is that?
That is
and
so
like scratch
cool.
the head. And then we used to always laugh like about Dan and like his double toga, because Harry gets some weird scratch, and I can't even remember where it was, where it looks like someone's just got a fork and gone like that across his face.
I
don't know. It was on his face somewhere. I can't remember. I would always call it like the fork scratch. They'd be like, it's like someone's just jabbed him with a fork. But yeah, always so fun. Wearing that sort of costume, doing the sort of bloods and then like even at the end when it's all cleaned up with stitches, like she's got like little steri strips. that's always fun because, you know, Hermione, the first couple films, like the costume's not great. It wasn't, you know, yeah, I mean,
look at you.
that's like, yeah, yeah, so that's the first and second film there you can see. And then in the third film, obviously they changed director, and then she got a lot more modern. So she had the more like jeans and trainers, and I feel like you know, actually spoke to someone from wardrobe, and they were like, it makes sense, you know, she was like a physical, athletic, young, modern woman, like she would be wearing those things. But I think like maybe in the first few films, very like typical of Chris Columbus, and if you watch films like Home Alone or other stuff he's done, I think he just tries to keep the costumes quite timeless, and not put them in like I know that's like 2002 or 2003, but I think like thank goodness she wasn't wearing a kilt in the third film because of all the running around she has to do. Like it's just kind of like she would be in jeans and a hoodie. Like that's what, if you're going to go and save Buckbeak, you're wearing jeans and a hoodie. You're not putting your kilt and your knitted jumper on. Like, so kind of, and also like the evolution of the hair is that Hermione starts like getting to wear her hair up and be a bit more, which kind of makes sense. I think like with all of us, we know from sort of maybe when you get to like 13, you are a little bit more aware of doing your hair and grooming and that sort of thing. So it kind of made sense as well, but it was nice for me when I was like, she's got a bit of a ponytail today, or it's not just like the back comb craziness of like the first film.
That is great. I love it. This is so cool, I have to say. Fangirl right now. But I heard that you actually also punched Tom Felton along with Emma. So do you want to talk about that?
Blabs, where did you hear this? Like what rumors are you hearing on the internet?
I went on the internet and researched Flick Miles to the T, guys. I
have spoken about this before. Your research is so good. Yeah, so I mean, like, I don't think they used my punch in the film because it was so pathetic. Like, I'd never thrown a punch before in my life. That was my first and last punch I've ever thrown. But yeah, just they did a tracking shot over Hermione's shoulder, like coming down, and then she obviously
Draco.
Like, bam. But yeah, I don't think mine made it into the film. So I was like, but great, like such a great moment. You're like really like, yes, Hermione, like get it, because I mean he's so horrible in that film with the Buckbeak bit. You know, Malfoy is a very complex character, I feel, in the Harry Potter. I'm not going to go into a deep dive into this, but he's kind of a complex character. But that bit is pure like evil.
I mean, how did Tom take it when you tried to punch him or pathetic punch him?
Well, like, it's such a good sport because I don't know whether anybody actually landed a punch on him by accident. But no, he's a really good sport, Tom. I don't remember him holding any grudges against like me and Emma, just like stomping down. But you know, he played the part Malfoy so well. He got it. He did.
So let's talk about the Yule Ball scene that you mentioned before. You were an extra. Were you actually featured? Like, can you see yourself in the movie at all?
No. I'm there somewhere, but when I watched it, I was like, you can't see me. I'm there, but no. So that's a shame.
How long did
but
that take
I mean,
to film?
I think I was there for like 4 days. 4 days, definitely.
You just dancing?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like they did a bit of like their entrances in, us standing around and doing a bit of dancing. Yeah, so a couple of days, but it was just for me. I was more just like loving being back, seeing everybody, being back on the sets, like just being able to walk around. Like we were so lucky that I just took for granted that I could just like walk around Leavesden Studios and see all these amazing like Harry Potter sets. So for me, I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to come back and see the sets that they'd added and stuff like that. Yeah, and see everybody. So
yeah. So have you been back to the studio since it's opened as a studio tour, and have you seen your name on the wand box?
Yeah, I have.
Is that a weird thing to see?
It was, the one box is so cool and it's actually so lovely, and I love it because anybody I ever know who goes always asks me like where it is, or I'll say to them like, look out for my one box. So it's just like lovely to have that and just to feel like, you know, recognized in the part you played in sort of the wizarding world. But it's so weird going back to the studios now because when we were there, Leavesden was like the most run down, drafty, leaky, like I couldn't believe it when I turned up there. I was thinking like Harry Potter, Warner Brothers, and my mind just goes to like a film lot in California, you know, like just thinking like that's what it's going to be like. And it's not. It was like an abandoned airfield with a runway. But in a way, it was sad. Now it's obviously it's incredible. Like, have you been, Blabs, to the tour?
I have not been. I'm so sad.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to go. Craig, let's go to the UK, okay?
You guys have to. I'll come and meet you there, and we'll go and look around.
Oh,
Like,
don't tell her that, Flick. Don't tell her that. Oh no, you're giving her hope.
Live podcast from the tour.
You have no idea what you're saying. I will go. I will 100% go. See, he just left. He's like, "No, what have you done?"
I said, I'm not dealing with this today, girls. But like, I think it's now like super glossy. Like, it's really, really cool. It's amazing. It's like Disneyland, you know. It's like it's amazing. But part of me is like, this isn't the old Leaky Leavesden that was my second home, basically. But I'm so pleased they've done what they have done, because seeing the sets like that and being able to see how much like detail and effort and just how like it's just such an incredible feeling whilst you're there. Seeing that, I'm so pleased, because I think it's a real like love letter and tribute to the crew of like and everybody who worked really hard to make this world that we really love, and the time and effort that they put into things that you wouldn't even pick up in the film. Like, I remember when going into Honeydukes, I always say this, but all the suites had like Honeydukes branding, or, you know, it'd have like a stick of rock. I don't know if that's a thing in the States, but like the suites would have like Honeydukes written through, and you would like never see that on film. Like, maybe if you're looking really close, but like somebody bothered to design that. Yeah. And it's just, so I think that level of detail, and the same with the costumes, and like going into creature effects and seeing like Aragog, like just all these things. I think it's just like you come away with such like respect for people who do that as their job, and like how hard they must work to really like, especially with Harry Potter, because there was the pressure of it being such a treasured story for so many people. I feel there was pressure that you didn't want to let down all these kids that are not even children. I think like adults loved Harry Potter as well at that time, but you didn't want to let everyone down, that they had this pressure to create the world that the children had in their head, or whoever reading it had in their head. And I feel like when you go there, you see how much effort they put into doing that. And it's probably why like Harry Potter is so loved, and why people, you can watch the films now and they don't feel really old. You can watch Philosopher's Stone and you're not like, this film was definitely like from 21 years ago. It feels still really like magical and really enjoyable to watch.
It's crazy. And for those who don't know what the wand box is, it's basically when you go to the studio tour, everybody who's worked on the films, they have their names on a box there. So it's like, you know, it's like a tribute and a credit to them. So if you go there, you can find everyone there. And I like that. I think that's really nice. I mean, how many studios actually acknowledge every single person years later?
Exactly.
You know, I love that.
I think, I think it's like really lovely that they did that. And like I said, I think it's just the perfect ending to something that you walk through, and is like a tribute to everybody who worked really hard behind the scenes to make it amazing. So, yeah.
So I have a couple of questions from the audience, from Twitter. So what is Hogwarts House?
Oh my gosh, I think I'm Gryffindor, but I want to say I'm not, because I feel like it's so obvious I'm going to say that, but I just feel like I am. That's just the truth. My husband, I have done the test, and I do think it did come back that, but my husband's a Ravenclaw, so, you know, but we now with my son want to do, have you seen people do these videos where they lay out the house?
Oh, and they crawl to it, basically?
He can walk, but I feel like we need to do that and see who he's like. But yeah.
I have a question for you.
All right, Craig.
Well, so Flick, you mentioned how you felt like you were in Hogwarts, right, while you were filming, right? That you're like, that's as close as you can get. Have you been to Universal Studios and done the whole Diagon Alley thing and the Harry Potter stuff? And if so, what were your thoughts? Did I say that right? Diagon Alley? Did I say that right? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll make sure.
Have you seen making you into a massive Potter fan.
All right.
What
are your thoughts on it? Yeah.
Yes,
what are your thoughts
I did
on
go. I have been. yeah, I have been. I actually was like the first stop on my honeymoon that I was like, we're going. And my husband does like Harry Potter. He's not a huge fan, but he's into it, and he knew that I really wanted to go. And it's incredible. Like, it's so good. Like, I think that really is like how it feels to be in the sets. But I know a lot of the people who worked on the films worked getting the theme park made. So there's a real continuity in it. So I think that's like such an American, like, especially to be over yours, like I know it's so far to come over here to go to the studios. I really think that's walking through the studios in the UK, Diagon Alley, is really similar to if you go to Universal, and it's got the big dragon on the top as soon as you walk through it. Like, really amazing.
Cool. Yeah, I'm not a huge Harry Potter guy, but when I went there, I thought it was really cool. It was pretty fun, pretty fun to see, and
like
the whole
loads of people are
butterbeer
dressed
thing.
up really well in their in cloaks and jumpers as well, which I think makes it cool. They don't really do that as much as at the studios, as much as the theme parks. So that was really cool because I feel like it adds to you feeling like you're in Harry Potter because everyone's wearing like the cloaks or the jumpers or the ties, and yeah, that was really fun.
Sorry, Blabs, continue.
Okay,
and by the way, Flick, I know you got like only a couple of minutes left. We're gonna so let's rapid fire them out here, Blabs.
Right. So really fast, the chat wants to know what your favorite spell is.
Petrificus totalis. I feel like
Did
that
you
just
have
rolls
to
off
film
the
that
tongue. So, yeah. And I just feel like it's nice to say. It's better than, I know everyone loves like Wingardium Leviosa, but I feel like that's not as good as like Petrificus totalis.
And have you played Hogwarts Legacy, the new video game?
No, I haven't. Have you?
I have, but I really didn't like it.
Oh, that's interesting. So I've only heard good things about it. I literally, for Christmas, I said to my husband, I was like, can you get me a Nintendo Switch so I can play Hogwarts? By the way, I'm like not a gamer.
Switch.
Exactly. Like so my husband has like a console and he has gamed before. And like he's like, I don't understand how somebody can be so bad. It's just not my natural thing to be like, I end up like walking into a wall, not able to turn around. Like, I'm so bad, and like, it's painful watching you. So he's like, I just don't believe if you get the Switch and you get the game, you're going to play. But I was like, I really want to play. I feel like I'd really love that. Because I'd only heard good things, but maybe now I'll say, cancel the Switch, cancel the Hogwarts Legacy.
No, give it a try. It's just my opinion. I totally want you to do it. And you know what? You should stream it as like, Hermione plays Hogwarts Legacy and you do bum in the walls. I think that'd be really funny. I'm just saying.
If I get it, then I'll have to talk to you and I'll and tell you how I've got on.
Yes, it'll be so fun.
Or you can go as Hermione 2.
HermiTwo.
Right? HermiTwo. Sorry. Yeah,
Hermione 2.
Guys, this really is just coming together beautifully, isn't it?
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. We know you got to go, but we want to thank you for your time and thank you for allowing Blabs to fangirl the freak out over here.
Yes,
ridiculous.
Thank you so much
but
for having me. I hope we've managed. I hope there wasn't like too many things I didn't talk about. I hope we managed to cover.
I love this. We gotta do this again. I love it.
Blabs is like, I'm flying to Europe now. I'm booking my ticket. We're gonna be best friends, really.
Mine 2 on the Switch, and then we're gonna do podcast live from the studio tour. Can't wait.
Yes.
Great.
Sounds awesome. Flick, thank you very much for your time. We greatly appreciate it. And now I'm gonna laugh at Blabs for fangirling out. So.
Yeah, thank you, Flick. Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
We'll see you. All right, Blabs, how'd it go?
Oh my god. I was fangirling this entire time. I want to go home and I'm already home. I'm going to go cry later. It's fine.
All right. Well, listen, I want to make sure everybody knows you can find Flick's podcast, Behind the Wand podcast. I encourage you guys to go find it if you guys are huge Harry Potter fans. And if you guys enjoy this, look, we realize when we do these interviews, they are not the most popular thing that we do, but they're fun. And they're different, and we get to see Blabs go for 45 minutes, which is great. Blabs, how are you feeling? Can you take a few breaths?
I'm good. No, I thought that was really fun. I love it. I love all the, like, I'm a big behind the scenes movie nerd, so like I'll just sit there and watch special features of like anything really just to learn. She's got all the knowledge of what it was like behind the scenes, and I love that. And I mean, you don't really hear a lot of people talk about, not being the main set, but like a body double actually talking about their experiences, and I think that's just as cool as, Emma Watson talking about it. So I love
Yeah,
it.
I mean it's pretty awesome. I mean it's fun to see you nerd out and be.
Did you have fun even if you're not a big Harry Potter fan? You
Of
think it was
course.
cool?
Yes, that was great. I loved it. That was so much fun to watch you freak out because that's like it's like a bucket list item, you know. And honestly, I feel like we should put together a bucket list item so at Game Attack we had like a bucket list stuff for us to do, right? And I think it would be really cool to do a bucket list stuff for like us, and we could go to we could go to Europe and go to this place and do a live podcast with Flick Miles and like that. And you could look at her really awkwardly and make her feel really
like,
weird.
Hi,
I'm gonna be your best friend. So anyways.
Well, now that's 2 actors I've met for the Harry Potter films, and the rest of them to go, basically.
Well, I think that'd be really fun. Maybe we can put together some goals like that for 2024 as we go into year 2 of Side Scrollers. Listen, if you guys do like this type of stuff and you like to see people fangirl out specifically on Blabs, make sure you guys support the show. We're going to keep going with this, by the way. We're still going to go. We still got a little bit more to talk about today, more than just the interview. So we appreciate you guys popping in. But Tom Master came in with the $50 super chat. Says, I here for happiest day of Blabs year. Bam, look at it right there. Thank you so much, Tom Master. That's outstanding. And yeah, you were here, man. You were here. It's ridiculous. Let's get you on the wall. By the way, Blabs over here like texting her friends. Guess who I just interviewed?
Actually, no, I was making another timestamp for you.
Okay. Yeah, I did really bad with
I actually just saw. I'm like, you're shit.
Pathetically bad. Pathetically bad.
This is why I'm producing. You're not.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do something at the end of the year. Here, I'm gonna figure this out. We got this wonderful wall of support right here. I'm gonna throw some darts at it. I'm gonna give away some stuff for like just hit a name or two and be like, guess what? You win a Switch or you win a gift card. You know, like I want to do like that. People have supported Side Scrollers. I want to give back. So listen, Sunbury Master, you
awesome.
You going on the wall. Let's go. Let's get you on the wall. All right.
Blabs in the UK in 2024. That's what chat's saying.
Let's go.
That'd
Love
be
it.
so cool.
Blake wanted to know what her Hogwarts house was, and she mentioned it was Gryffindor.
Yeah, which is actually the house that Hermione was in, so that's fun. But also, I am Gryffindor too. I was sorted twice on the official website in Gryffindor. So.
Son says, my girlfriend and I just binged the movies this past summer. They were a lot better than I was expecting.
They're fun movies. They're timeless. Craig just will one day watch them, I guess, in 20-minute intervals, but it'll be better than nothing.
That's true, absolutely. Mercenary Command says, watching Blabs Fangirls like my mom when she met one of the cast of Lawrence Welk. What? It's so surreal to see this happening. True fandom knows no bounds. What a dork. Thank you so much, Mercenary. And Comstar Accountant says, just tuned in. Big thanks, Craig, for taking a back seat to Blabs Nerdgasm.
Yay!
Hey, that's kind of the fun of this, man. That's kind of the fun. Zombie Liquor says, I like the interviews here and there. So far, you have got interesting people I was not aware of at all. I feel like the other channels I watch have become a carousel of the same people. Keep trucking. Yes,
that is everybody.
That is. Hey, Zombie Liquors, thank you very much. That is literally. We've had so many conversations of we don't want to be a carousel of the same people over and over again, right? We want to get out of our space, and that's something that's very, very important to us. So interviewing people like Flick is awesome, and I love that's going to happen. So a Quinn over on our AC Quinn over on Twitch with the resub of Prime says Blabs has the best smile.
Thank you.
Don't make it weird. Dude says, too bad the Harry Potter films don't have an extended cuts like the Lord of the Rings films.
They do, actually. The first 2 films have deleted scenes thrown back into them. But apparently, according to the Phelps twins, they filmed like 4 hours of footage for the first movie, but the movie's only like 2.5 hours long. So I would love a director's cut one day of everything. But yeah.
Dude says, do even actors of the Muggle characters get a wand box? You said everybody did, right?
Everybody, including the crew, by the way. It's not just the cast. It's the crew that actually have their name at the studio tour on a box. And so you can walk in there, you see everybody's name. And it's not like they threw it in like, oh, Emma Watson's with Daniel and Rupert. No, it's like surrounded by random cast and crew members. Everyone's equal. I love it.
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah,
I mean, how many
very, very
studios
cool.
do that? You don't hear Disney doing that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I love that everyone's on the same level. Dude came in one more time, says, don't worry, Craig. We all know you fangirled out at your first E3. That's true. I very much did, for sure. New review says, that was awesome, Blab. So happy for you.
Thanks.
Hey,
See you later.
really appreciate that. And Johnny the Butcher. Johnny came in with a $50 direct donation, says, I want to support the bucket list. Here's to 2024. Johnny, thank you very much.
Balls.
Let's go. Let's stinking go. You
Need
know,
lots of balls in the chat.
I love it, Johnny. Let's get you on the wall, my dude. One more time. And let me say this. That's something we do need to talk about. We need to talk about, stretching our legs, being outside of just this internet space. I want to get together and do some interaction stuff. We talked yesterday about Adam doing some, going to Sweden and doing a show in Sweden. Oh man, that'd be so awesome. Fun. That would be great. Hey, Johnny, look at it right there. Let's get you on the wall, my dude. Let's go. We have completed this column. Woo-hoo. It's completed over there. I got to start a new one over here. We're going to work our way from left to right now. Shauna came in, says, love the interview. I was fangirling. I would have been fangirling too. Way to go, Blabs. P.S. Can't afford any more super chats because thanks to Craig, I bought a Switch. Shauna, thank you very much. Enjoy that Switch. Thank you very much for your support with the $6.99 Canadian super chat. All right, man, let's go. I'm very glad that you were able to do that, Blabs.
That was so much fun. Like, if I hadn't been here, I wouldn't have the opportunity to do this. So this is sweet, man. I feel very happy and privileged.
Well, let me just say this. You did kind of creep her out a little bit. Or you creeped me out a little bit at the end.
Why?
Because you were like, we're going to be best friends.
And I was totally joking about that. I was like, we're going to be best friends. Like a joke.
We're going to be best friends, Flick Miles. You and me. We're going to be friends.
No, I hope she doesn't think I was creepy. Oh, dear Lord. What have you done?
now I got you second guessing everything.
Shit. Oh no, I'll have to text and be like, by the way, I'm only joking. We can still be friends.
No, don't do that. That's the worst thing you can do. Because then you'll be like the weird estranged girlfriend who's like, no, why won't you talk to me? Come on.
Oh my God, she won't answer my text messages anymore.
Wait, you actually have her phone number?
No, I have her on DMs, and she emailed me those photos, so I have her email too.
Okay, all right, well, that's good. Yeah, Blas got to cry into her pillow tonight.
She hates me.
Like, Miles, I love you. Oh, man. Is there anything that you wanted to ask that you didn't get a chance to? I mean, I'm sure there
honestly, I feel like I hit almost everything that I had, like, main bullet points, because I knew we only had 45 minutes with her. But I probably could go for ages and get onto the nitty-gritty stuff about all the details of stuff.
I'm sorry I did a poor job with the timestamps.
Yeah, you're honestly, I'm looking at them. I'm like, what is this to work with?
Very bad. What I did was number one, it gives you a great appreciation. It gives me a great appreciation for said timestamps because I was too busy going like, oh yeah, there we go, listening to the story, and then whatever. It was tough. So.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, listen, it's okay. It's okay. It's all right.
I do better timestamps.
You do. It's been established. You are a better timestamper. Okay. So for those of you guys who like timestamps, you can find this as well. I'm sure there'll be a great timestamp there. Let's. Hey, I have a big announcement today. I have a big announcement, and we're going to talk about this more tomorrow with Melanie when Melanie comes on the show. But today. After the show today, probably just after the show, over on Twitch. This is going to be a Twitch exclusive stream today. I am going to I'm going to do an artistic nudity stream today.
I thought you were joking when you
No.
I was like, oh, Craig.
Listen, I'm going to look through artistic nudity. I'm going to Google artistic nudity, and whatever shows up, that's what shows up. And I will not be banned on Twitch because whatever shows up, shows up. Okay, because we're going to do this because that was the big news coming from Twitch yesterday was that you can now have not autistic nudity, artistic nudity.
No, you're autistic nudity.
The whole thing is autistic. The whole freaking thing.
Are you going to become a titty streamer?
No. Let's to be clear.
Titty streamer Craig?
To be clear, I will have all of my clothes on the entire time.
Then how is this a nudity type stream?
Because I told you I'm going to Google artistic nudity.
Oh, well, you're just going to show it off?
And like, whatever the images are. Well, that's the thing, Blabs. It's such a loose. Okay, so you're saying this is a bad idea. You're telling me that I could get banned on Twitch?
He's like, I'm gonna do it. Try. That just leads everyone to come to Kick, the
What's
better
that?
streaming service. It'll bring everyone to Kick anyway.
Oh.
Get banned on Twitch and be like, it's all right. We got Kick. Come over here. We're fine.
Sure. Okay.
That's where the cool kids are at.
Listen, I will not. Listen, I refuse to take any of my clothes off. Listen, the only thing that you know what I should do is I should bring back the hot dog swing.
No. Listen, chat. I'm like his internet child, so when I see that, I'm like, this is so wildly inappropriate. I need to go now.
I'll tell you the hot dog swing. Like people are so freaking stupid. Like they're like, oh, you're the guy swinging a hot dog in your mouth. And it's
You're
like
a thought now.
It's like, dude, do you not understand that it's so fucking stupid? That's exactly why I did it, right?
And Shamsa.
Shamsa gave me
accidentally made you do it.
Shamsa came in and donated $1,000. So shut up. Oh my God. Nika says, "Show them titties, Kistus."
That says tittles.
Oh, you know what I mean. You know what they meant. You know what Mika meant.
No. I think he was trying to confuse you with your dyslexia.
Yeah. Well, either way, I think it would be funny because the whole idea of this show is to shove the shit back in people's face. You want to talk about common sense? That is not common sense. Twitch is a platform that has children on it all over the place. You want to have whatever. We're going to talk about it tomorrow. Hey, let's talk about something more just for a quick news story. This is going to be a quick hit because nobody cares about this except for me. Did you see Hold on. It's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. It's time for Hard News.
Hard News.
All right, Blabs. Nobody's going to care about this but me. But me right now. The other day at the Game Awards, they saw Sega announced several returning entities.
Yes, you're
IPs,
right. Only you're going to care about this. Go
and
on.
it was the highlight of the show for me. You know, we saw Streets of Rage come back. We saw Shinobi come back. These games that you've never played before, Blabs. But today, it was just announced just a little bit ago, 15 minutes ago, that Sega has, and here's the thing about this. At the end of the trailer, it said, and more. Here's the and more. As Sega has filed 4 trademarks in Japan, which were made public today.
Oh, interesting.
One for Altered Beast, which you don't know, which was a classic game. One for Eternal Champions, which was a Street Fighter clone knockoff that had fatalities and all sorts of stuff. It was iconic Sega Genesis. One for Jet Set Radio, which we already knew, and one for Kid Chameleon, which Kid Chameleon is kind of like Mega Man in that you switch between power-ups and stuff. Nah, not really, but it's kind of like a Genesis version of that. And all those are iconic Genesis franchises. They didn't really go past them. They tried to advance into the future, into the 3D realm. It just never worked out. But all of those are games that made tremendous headway. Specifically, Altered Beast. Altered Beast was an arcade game that was ported over to the Genesis, which for its time was awesome. And yeah, these were boomer games, but we're talking about boomer that's who these games are designed for. And yes, this is absolutely classic. So I'm excited to see this. I'm excited to, this is getting a little bit of traction. But Crazy Taxi, Golden Axe, Shinobi, Streets of Rage, Jet Set Radio, Altered Beast, Eternal Champions, and Kid Chameleon. That's 8 different franchises that Sega's bringing back. It looks like Sega's getting back into the game, and I got to be honest, pretty damn excited about it.
Are you here for it?
Oh, man, am I here for it. Good Lord. They're also...
O'Reilly's.
There's more.
Auto parts.
There's more. Holy shit. 8 more Sega trademarks made public today, including Alex Kidd Afterburner, House of the Dead, Outrun, and Super Monkey Ball. There's more, Blabs. There's more.
We've swapped roles now. Now you're fangirling, and I'm like, come to your senses, Craig.
That's awesome. It's great. This is very, very exciting for me, and I think this is neat to see, specifically with how the first trailer looked. Well, Shaq Fu was not his Genesis. That was an EA title. But yeah, Shaq Fu was brought back a couple of years ago. They brought back Shaq Fu, and it was like a beat 'em up.
AJ probably has 1 million copies of it.
You're probably right. Well, I think it was a digital game, but yeah. God, I screwed up their name.
Oh, what's his name?
It's not Nerd.
It's not Nerd. So
nope.
we'll just call him Not Nerd.
not Nerd. Says artistic nudity is what you find in Greek, Roman, 20th century paintings. For photos, it's usually nudity you find in non-PB places, magazines. So like a woman laying down on her side nude. Still stupid though. You know what look, do you know how we're going to find all the nude girls on Twitch, and they're going to be like, it's art. It's art.
See, this is going to be Craig now. Craig's going to be like, how much of you is covered?
70%. Where's that 70%? Where's the cover them nipples? Will Through Life with Brian Given 10 says, can you play these on next gen consoles? Well, that's the idea. I think that, the first games that they announced were definitely, Crazy Taxi, Golden Axe, Shinobi, Streets of Rage. They announced those last week, and I think those are coming in the next year. So I would imagine that you can and will be able to play them on next-gen consoles, I would imagine, Brian. So, but yeah. Oh, my God, this is great. I'm so excited. So excited. So you're saying, Blabs, I should not do a stream about autistic nudity?
If you'd like to get banned on Twitch...
That's what I want. I want to push to see how far is the line, because that's the thing. There's so much gray here, Blabs. That's the whole reason to do this type of stream, is to push it to the point where, like, we had this conversation the other day, Blabs. Are video games art?
They can be, depending on the person. It's objective.
Perfect, right. Can porn be art?
I guess it's subjective also. Not for me, but it's subjective.
Okay, you're right. That's the whole idea. Let's say somebody goes online and they're like, listen, it's artistic nudity, right? Mm-hmm. Like 100, that's the entire purpose
of do this.
No, I'm not doing a hot tub stream. But the whole idea here is that I want to find out where that line is on Twitch. That's the whole objective of doing a stream like this.
Do you want to risk 7.3K followers on your Twitch account?
How many people are watching right now?
16.
Tell you. Yeah, 16. Now listen, you 16 watching over.
Kick.
We'll go over to Rumble, go over to YouTube, right? Kick, if you want to subscribe over on Kick, hell yeah. But if you just want to watch watch on YouTube or watch on Rumble.
We gotta give the Kick people more incentives. You don't even have emojis over there yet. That's just sad.
Because we have you watching on Kick.
So there's actually 3 people. So myself and 2 others.
All right, well that's good. Hey,
and we gotta advertise it. We gotta do some Kick streaming and Rumble streaming, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, welcome. We're excited for you guys over on Kick. I don't think that people have really gravitated over to Kick. That's just me. I know a lot of people have. But I don't know if people in our audience have. That's the thing. But and Sub says we don't have emotes on Rumble either. I don't think they have emotes on Rumble. Do they? Do they have custom emotes? I don't think they do. But
I don't think they do either. I've never seen any.
Yeah. Well, either way, look, the whole thing is just silly over on Twitch. And anyways, all right. L-Dub says Beardo's doing well on Kick. That's true. Beardo is. Yeah.
I'm doing pretty good. I think I'm about to hit 500 if I haven't yet, which is awesome.
The whole idea of what we're talking about with Twitch, though, is that it's just a joke. The whole thing is a joke. The idea of there needs to be boundaries. And if there's no boundaries, then everybody's running over and showing off their boobies and everything. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. It's just absolutely silly. Blake loves some Sega. Let's go. Sega. Thank you, Blake. And you know who else is just ridiculous? Elite Neo came in with the $100.
Woo!
Let's go.
Hang on. I have some music, don't we? Let's see. Music. Please hold on, Boomer. I'm Craig right now. How about this one? Interesting. We need Adam's music. He needs to put it in the background music.
Play it
We're
off,
just gonna steal it
Blabs.
from him.
Can you read what Elite Neo said?
Yeah. He says, "Hey, Craig and Blabs. Got the results of my annual performance review for work yesterday. Found out I did even better than I expected. Got
Hell
a raise and
yeah.
a promotion. So
What?
sharing a bit of wealth and appreciation for all the entertainment you've provided. Thank you. Well, awesome. Congrats on promotion. That's great.
Awesome. That's spectacular.
Mm.
Oh, that's great. Elite Neo,
People
you're
are
going over
winning.
here. You going over by Shane. There we go. We're starting a new line over here. That's awesome. Man. Elite Neo, that is great. Congratulations. And way to go, man. Listen, we expect nothing but spectacular, talented people in our audience. And I know that we have spectacular, talented people in our audience. All right. I'll tell you what, tomorrow we're going to be having the wonderful Melanie Mack, and I'm sure it's going to be a wonderful show because she is blowing up Twitter right now. The word police are coming after Melanie, which is wonderful.
Basically, if you think about just because she's female, too. Because how many men say those words and nobody gives a shit?
Love that. Hey, Elite Neo, go get that bag. Go get it. Love that. All right. With that said, guys, thank you very much for your support today. Appreciate you guys popping in. And, like I said, it's an interview day. It's a little different. And I think just to be clear, we've talked about this, and I need to make a decision on this. But I think this is how we're going to do interviews in 2024 is I think we are going to do them on demand, and we're going to make them edited and not be live. And we're going to have a regular show Monday through Friday. So I think that's what we're going to do. But we have a few more interviews on the way for the rest of the year. Do we not, Blabs? I think we have one or two more.
I can announce it for you if you'd like. Do you want me to?
Yeah, fire away. Yeah.
Okay, so we have 2 more interviews for next week. So on Tuesday we have photographer Danny Damien. He's got over a million subs on YouTube, and he takes all these great photos. And he was a big fan of Craig back in the day on Screw Attack, so it's really nice, kind of full circle. And then we're finishing off that week on Thursday the 21st with Chrissy Mayer. So that'll be really fun.
So we got a lot of good folks coming on the show, and that's going to round out our 2024 interview. Our interviews. Next week will be we'll have Razor on Monday, but like I said, Melanie will be back on Friday and every Friday. Razor on Monday, then we got Danny, and then we have Adam and Flawed on Wednesday, Chrissy on Thursday, then Melanie Mack on Friday, and then we'll be taking the week after Christmas off. So then we'll be back to kick ass in 2024, which is really crazy to say. So. With that said, guys, thanks so much for your support today. Give it up for Elite Neo going in and getting that bag today, man. That's awesome. That's great. We need a bag emote. Just getting that bag. That's awesome to see. I will be live this afternoon. It turns out it doesn't sound like the artistic nudity stream is a very good idea, although I do love the idea of pushing the boundaries.
If you want to do it, do it. Who am I to say not to do it? I'm just a poor little producer over here. But
You're the good angel on my bad angel shoulder, which is
listen.
good,
If you want to test it out, go for it. I mean, it's only the Twitch account. It's not like it's the YouTube one. So.
I'm gonna make them ban me. It's gonna be great. Guys, have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys over on somewhere. Just I'll be live somewhere today. No promises. With that said, guys, remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got that goal. Go get it. Have a great day, guys. See ya. Bye-bye.
Fatality.
Oh, hold on. Alan said, went on a date with a girl the other night to see a movie. She now calls me Godzilla. Alan, congratulations.
Way to go.
Way to go, Alan. Love that. Love that. All right. Let's stop with it. There you go. All right. There.
What are you doing?
I don't know. You get that. We're gone. See you. Bye.
Fatality.